This time around we're going to look at rhythm guitar with 6 different examples, and then we'll do a little analysis of each. You know, it's nice just to hear just what's going on underneath the mix isolated, and it should be interesting. So the first one up is Blackberry Blossom. Well, firstly, there's a lot of chord changes, and there's a lot of different approaches to stitch those chords on the beat. In this example, the root note is played on the downbeat, followed by the higher fragment of the chord on the upbeat, while the D chord receives just 3/16 notes played with a downward sweep of the pick. A lot of these rhythms, you'll notice, will be played just like this, with a single root note followed by the upper register of the chord. Another thing we see is the time-dragged chromatic notes leading to the C. These tied notes are played just after the beat, creating a dragged effect with the time. In this example, I've included the G note as a substitute for the beat, just so you can see where the dragged notes are in relation to the beat. And next up is Go My Way. This is a good example of Peck Attack. First you have that downward brush. With the pick slanted at this angle, rolls off the strings easily because there's less friction, and it gives you a nice warm tone with little pick noise. It's followed by a fast but gentle strum that seems to bounce off the strings. If you notice there, you can hear that it sounds very similar to the pick and finger technique, which is more uniform in sound, as in all the notes are being sounded at the same time. Another noteworthy pick combination is the 3 upstrokes on the triads near the end of the intro. And next we have Monza Dia. So what we find different here is 3 down and 1 up on those chord changes. You see also how those open notes again allow you not only to get around the neck, but to make smooth transitions between the chords. Next up is Neon Tetra. This is a real finger twister, this one. The following example is how you should explore fingering of the chords that allow the smoothest transition to the next chord. Here you can see how I worked out the second finger could stay connected to the same string and only have to move down 1 fret. And again you see it starts with a bass note and the rhythm is implied with the upper register of the chord. And moving on to Spanish point. This is not unlike funk guitar, you know, jamming on an E7 sus2 chord with 16th note rests, and again using open strings to get around. Also, what makes up a lot of this rhythm is that string skipping roll we heard earlier in Go My Way. And to end, we have Birdland breakdown. This is so fast. A lot of the changes happen again with the single root note, just like we already seen on Blackberry Blossom. Again, we have the open string idea to move from D minor to the B flat 6-2 chord smoothly. As you can see, that was more of an overview, but it's such a big subject. But next time we'll get something a bit more detailed and a bit more complete. So thanks for hanging around, and I'll see you next time.